How's it going, everybody? My name is James and welcome to Blindly Made Videos. So today we're going to go over kind of some future plans for some of the vehicles, or if something needs to be fixed, we'll talk about that. We're going to start it off here in the F350. So what does the F350 need? Well, it has an injector out right now, and we'll probably just replace all 8 injectors at once. And also the truck currently has head bolts still, so we'll probably think about doing head studs and head gaskets at the same time, since the injector labor would be free if you also do head studs, since everything needs to be pulled apart anyway. And might as well have that peace of mind to have the head studs in there. For injectors, we're probably looking at either conventional 205cc 100% nozzles or 250 hybrids with 100% nozzles, both from Warren. And like I said in the garage video, this truck's still running a stage 2 turbo, so it's kind of a small turbo, especially if I get the 250 hybrids. So we're thinking about upgrading the turbo later on if we go with the 250s. Hopefully we can keep the EGTs down if we have the 250s in the stage 2, but we'll see what happens. And that's kind of the plans right now for the truck, and we will move on to the next vehicle. Alright, so now we are in the Lexus, and what does the Lexus need? Well, the battery kind of went bad over the winter, so we'll replace that. And also the amp in the trunk, for some reason, is drawing some power even with the key out of the car, so we will have to look into that. And also the idle's kind of a little strange on it, but it's kind of been that way ever since we gapped the spark plugs pretty tight. So we did that because the car was kind of cutting out at full throttle, so we got like a step colder, and then we gapped the plugs to about 28 instead of I think they come in the box at 44, and we just gapped them really tight right away, so we didn't have to take them out again if it cut out again. But it doesn't cut out at full throttle anymore since we gapped them so tight, but I think that's kind of compromised the idle a little bit. So if it gets really bad, maybe we'll take them out and gap them maybe like a little bit bigger, but we might just get new spark plugs in general. We'll see what happens, but that's really all that the Lexus really needs, or any plans for it. Alright, so now we're on the outside of the Lexus. Hopefully it's at least somewhat in the frame here. I just kind of wanted to show it since it was not in the garage video. I'll just kind of do some panning around here to try to get it in the frame. I'll try to get a little bit side view here, even though there's going to be a car behind me. And try to get backside view. And that's kind of a little look of the Lexus. Hopefully you can see it, and there we go. Alright, so now we are in the Civic, and the Civic doesn't really need much. It just needs pretty much to have some miles put on it. We're still breaking in the new motor. We're at about 600 miles out of 1,000. So hopefully we can get it broken in pretty soon and get another tune on it and see how much power it makes. So like I said, it doesn't really need much other than have some miles put on it. So now we are in the 1950s rat rod truck. So the truck kind of needs a lot, but to at least get it to move, I think the only thing we have to do is hook up a transmission cooler. The trucks ran before, but it was a few years ago since we actually had the motor running. So hopefully everything will still be good. Hopefully the gaskets are still good and everything. Other than that, probably lights and make sure the gauges work and all the pedals and everything. But we're not exactly sure what we're going to do with it yet. We might try to sell it pretty soon, or we might continue the project. We don't really know. We'll probably at least hook up the transmission cooler and try to move the thing around a little bit. But that's really all for the truck for now, this truck anyway. So on to the next one. Now we are in the Mustang. So the Mustang kind of has an interesting problem with it. One day when we were driving around, we noticed like it would pretty much just turn off like right when you were getting into boost, and we couldn't really tell why, but we just popped the hood and we could hear this this air noise, and it was pretty much a hole in the vacuum line going to the wastegate. So we're not really sure exactly what was happening. It's either probably a fuel cut like for too lean, or maybe a boost cut for too much boost, but we replaced the line and we took it out again, and it seems to do the same thing, but now at more throttle though, probably around full throttle, it'll pretty much just turn off and coast, and we don't really know what it is yet. We don't know, like I said, if it's a fuel cut or boost cut, but we're assuming something like that because we don't know really what else. And also it seems to be running a little leaner than it used to. Maybe it has something to do with E85 and the injectors. Maybe the injectors are a little clogged from sitting, but we're not too sure, but we'll try to figure it out and make some videos on it. So that's pretty much all for the Mustang for now. Now we are in the Corvette. So the Corvette runs fine and everything, but for some reason it kind of seems to be smoking out the back for some reason, and we're not exactly sure why. We had a compression test and a leak down test done on the motor, but it still smokes out the back, besides running fine otherwise. I mean, but my dad's kind of scared of it a little bit. He kind of wants to get the motor looked at or rebuilt, or maybe put a different motor in it, but I kind of think since everything's matching numbers, he should probably just sell this and maybe modify something else. But we'll see what happens with it. Like I said, it still runs fine other than just having some smoke out the back. Alright, so now we are in the Jeep Wrangler. So what does the Wrangler need? Well, we're not exactly sure everything it needs yet, since we just got it not too long ago. Somebody's probably going to have to take a good look and really see everything it needs. It seems to have no glass in this mirror over here, so we'll probably have to get something for that. My brother kind of wants to repaint it, or at least kind of fix the paint a little bit on it, and he also wants to put some bed liner in the interior, so you can kind of hose it off if you want, or you know, just to prevent scratches and dents and some damage and stuff. So I'll keep you updated on really what it needs when we know more about what it needs, and we'll move on to the Cummins. So now we are in the Cummins here. So this truck doesn't really need much. The only thing is kind of the EGTs seem to run a little high, even when we're towing kind of something light or even, you know, medium weight. And we're not exactly sure why. It might, you know, probably because of the aftermarket injectors with the stock turbo. So if we put a little more airflow through it, it should cool down the EGTs. Or maybe we'll go with something like a methanol injection kit. But either way, we'll kind of try to figure out the EGT thing. But otherwise, it's not like a super big deal. It's nothing crazy, but possibly a bigger turbo down the line. And that's pretty much all for this video. We went through pretty much the vehicles that I was trying to get through to really talk about the plans that we have for them. So please subscribe and like, and thanks for watching.